Hi, I'm Stephen Bradshaw, and I'm here with Kojo Kawachi, Jasmine Lloyd, and David John to tell you about our web app, Hive Got Bugs. Hive Got Bugs is a site where junior developers can share solutions to common coding problems, while also having access to expert, personalised help from an experienced mentor. With remote working fast becoming the norm, as a team, we felt that we would all benefit from having access to an online community of junior developers after graduation. While there are many sites that allow users to answer each other's tech questions, there are comparatively few that are aimed specifically at junior developers and that also offer the opportunity for a more personalised mentor-mentee relationship. So, let's find some bugs. Here we are at the homepage of the Hive Got Bugs site, and I'm going to log in using my GitHub account via Firebase authentication. So, I'm now logged in, and I can view a list of unsolved coding problems posted by other users. I can sort these by the date they were added. I can also filter them by the kind of tech they use. Here I'm going to look only for HTML problems. Alternatively, I can filter the problems by difficulty, in this case just showing the easy problems. Here I'm going to have a look at a problem called drop-down menu, which is to do with HTML. Here's the page for that problem. I can view suggestions that have already been added, as well as adding my own. Here, I'll add a suggestion recommending some online documentation. Once the suggestion has been added, I can edit it, or I can delete it. If I have a problem of my own that I'd like to get help with, I can add this by visiting my dashboard. The dashboard page shows my profile picture, which the site has access to through the GitHub integration, and also shows the number of bug points that I have. Bug points are earned by solving problems that other users have posted. The dashboard also shows charts, which provide a summary of the tech used in the problems I've posted, and also the ratio of solved to unsolved problems. So, now we're ready to add a problem. I've filled in fields for the tech I've used, the problem's difficulty, and a description of the problem itself. And now I'm going to submit it. Great, so that's been added to the site. Now that I've added a problem, I feel that I could really do with setting up a relationship with a mentor. To do this, I'm going to access the mentors page and have a look through the list of available mentors. I can see information like the skills a particular developer has, their bio, and the number of bug points they've collected. In this case, I'm going to contact Sarah Smith by visiting their GitHub account. I could then follow them and send them a message on GitHub to get help with the problems I've posted. Kojo is now going to demonstrate the process of how you become a mentor.
Hi, I'm Kojo. I would really like to become a mentor, so I'm going to click on the Become a Mentor button. Oh, I don't have enough bug points. Let me go to the home page and see if there's any problem I can solve. Here is a problem by Steven. I'm going to add a suggestion to this.
So I've come back to the app a little bit later, and I'm going to pull up the problem that I added. Okay, there's a new suggestion here by Kojo, and I think this has adequately solved my problem, so I'm going to mark this as having solved it. Great, this suggestion solved the problem, and my problem has been marked as solved. This should mean that Kojo has received a bug point.
Okay, so I'll go back to my dashboard to see how many points I've got. Oh yes, I've got 10 points. And now that I've got points to become a mentor, I'll do that right away. I will then fill out this form to become a mentor. I'll provide my name and my area of expertise: JavaScript, React, and Rails. I will also provide my GitHub name and then a summary of my details. I will go to the mentors page. You see I will be added as a mentor. Now I'm going to tell you about the tech stack we use for the front end. We use React for the front end. Even though we were familiar with React, we wanted to reinforce our understanding of the framework. We also use style components, as it's more compartmentalized and less chance of CSS interference. It keeps track of what components are rendered, so only renders the least amount of code, which is good for efficiency. Another advantage of style component is it provides dynamic styling using props. We also use Firebase for authentication on the front end and get users' detail like profile images, so no need to store images. And then we use Axios to access the endpoint through API calls. We also use Chart.js to visualize data and to render stars on our dashboard. And then finally, we use Netlify to deploy our front-end application. I'll now hand you over to David to tell you about the backend.
For our tech choices for the backend, we used Heroku to host the backend due to its ease of use and implementation. This meant we could quickly host our backend and use our endpoints as they were tested and created, which meant in turn the front-end functionality could start much earlier, cutting down on wasted time. In terms of our database, we toyed with the idea of changing what database we used so we could sort of expand and learn new skills. For example, the popular one is MongoDB. However, for our application, PostgreSQL served our purposes perfectly, as our data was relational due to having users having things like problems, suggestions, and bug points associated with them. Another perk of using a relational database meant that when we had to delete a user, or more commonly a user's problem, it deleted all the associated suggestions to that problem, meaning it could be done efficiently and quickly. In regards to the data to seed our database, we use an NPM package called Faker. We use this because it gave us access to a large library of data, which we could tailor to our database schemas. For our server, we used Express to create our server and Knex as our query builder for our endpoints, as our app was fairly front-end heavy, so it made sense to use something that we all had experience on. This meant we could focus on the front end and get the back end up and running as quickly as possible. Our testing was carried out using Jest, in which we thoroughly tested each endpoint before it was hosted. Over the course of our project, we faced several challenges that we had to overcome. One of the biggest was the fact that it was done completely remote, which meant we had to rely on communication and organisation skills to make sure our tasks were done in time and people didn't overlap on tasks they were doing. We used agile practices like regular stand-up to keep everyone up to date with what was going on with the app. This meant everyone had a clear idea on what was happening with the look and functionality of the app. Another challenge we faced was creating data in which we could use to test our database, as this is something we have had not any experience in doing before, so we had to start from scratch and go out and research what would be the best way to go about solving this problem. We needed to find a way to get the data that could be tailored to fit our specific schemas, as well as in the correct data type. We finally decided on Faker due to its straightforward implementation and the wide range of available data that we could use to fit our schemas.
We were able to create a fully functioning application in just 2 weeks, which was a great accomplishment. By using regular stand-ups and updating the Kanban board on Trello, we were able to stay constantly updated. We also had a prototype using Figma that allowed everyone to see the design at any point during the project. We also used pair programming and mob programming to make sure everything worked and appeared as we agreed. It was very important to have regular stand-ups throughout the day to make sure that if there was any issues we could tackle them as a team. Something else we did as a team was create a wireframe of the website. This helped replicate how we would work on a project in a professional environment. Due to the time constraints, we decided to only implement authentication on the front end. If we were given more time to work on our project, the first thing we would do would be to implement authentication on the back end as well. We would also implement instant messaging using Socket.io, which allows messages to be sent between a user and a mentor so that there is more communication between the different users in the site, making it more unique compared to the other sites that we were inspired by, like Stack Overflow. To further improve the site, we would also add the functionality that allows users to be assigned a mentor when they first sign up. As the site scales, we would implement a system to split up groups of mentors and users into location-based cells. This is to help keep the sense of community and retain the original appeal of the website.
We hope you've enjoyed hearing about Hive Got Bugs. If you've got any questions that are bugging you, feel free to fire away in the comments. Thanks for watching.